Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear Honorable Miss Lisa Tania SPD MSc and Mr. Galuh Catur Wisnu Prabowo SSI MPD as lecturers in English for chemistry courses. And to our dear friends, let us present the results of our group entitled Classification of Matters. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me introduce our team members. Firstly is Nesti Rahmadina, and the second is myself, Nicolas Arya Saputra, and the third is Putri Salsabilla, and the fourth is Rafifah Putri Az-Zahra. Then, the topic that we will discuss in this presentation is the first one is about definition of matter, atom, and molecules. The second is about pure substance. The third topic is about mixtures, and the last topic is about solutions. For the first topic, I invite Nesti Rahmadina to explain it.
Definition: matter, atom, and molecule. Matter is anything that has mass and take up space. Mass gives an object the property of weight and inertia, resistance to change, and dimension of an object. Three or four states of matter: solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. If something is a solid of the state of matter, it has a definition, shape, and volume. An atom is a basic unit of matter, consisting of a nucleus and a cloud negatively charged electron that surround it. The atomic nucleus consists of positively charged proton and neutrally charged neutron. The electrons in the atom are bound to the nucleus by the electromagnetic force. An atom is the smallest particle of chemical element. It is not, however, the smallest particle of the universe. Atoms are composed of subatomic particles, including proton, neutron, and electron. An atom, then, is the fundamental unit of matter. Most of the substances people encounter in the world, however, are not pure elements, such as oxygen or iron. They are chemical compounds in which atoms of more than one element join together to form molecule. A molecule is an extraordinary group composed of two or more atoms bonded together by chemical bonds.
Pure substances. Pure substances are also known as substance and have a constant composition. Pure substances are something that cannot be broken down into simpler matter using physical methods. The example of pure substances is like elements and compounds. Elements contain only one single type of atom, and you can find it on the periodic table of elements. Elements are the simplest form of matter that has its own unique set of properties. The elements cannot be separated by physical or chemical changes. The example of elements is like hydrogen or helium, nitrogen, oxygen, lithium is just like the example of elements. The next type of pure substances is compounds. Compounds is two or more atoms that are chemically combined and have a bond. They have their own unique properties that can differ from the elements that make up that compound. The example of compounds include like sodium chloride. The sodium chloride in everyday life you can call it table salt, and also acetic acid, or usually we call it vinegar. That's the difference between element and compounds.
Mixture is combination of two or more elements. It can be separated into big pieces. Mixture can also be classified into two, namely homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture is one that has only a observable phase, or in which the solvent is completely dissolved in the solvent, leaving the trace of other matter. Example, like salt and water. If the solvent salt and water, then the salt particles are completely dissolved in the water. Salt particles become solvent, leaving no trace of their particle, or we can no longer see. And heterogeneous mixture is when the substance combined by the solvent is not uniform in the product. Example, mixing sand and water. You cannot make a completely uniform mixture because the sand particles can still be observed in water, so it's a heterogeneous mixture.
Okay, here I'm going to explain about solution, suspension, and colloids. So the first one is solutions. Have you ever heard about a solution? What's that? Well, solutions are the homogeneous mixtures of substances that are uniformly distributed. It contains at least two substances called solute and solvent. Solute is a lesser substance that dissolves in the solvent, while the solvent is a greater substance that dissolves the solute. I'll give you an example of a solution. Look at these pictures. When we put salt into water and we stir it, the salt will completely dissolve in water. In this case, the salt is the solute and the water is the solvent. Based on that example, we can conclude that particles in the solutions are not visible. The size of particles is less than 1 nanometer. The substances cannot be separated by filtration, and solutions don't scatter light. Okay, next. What is suspension? Suspensions are heterogeneous mixtures of substances that don't dissolve. Look at the example. When we add sands into the water, we get a suspension. In the suspension, these sands settle out when left undistributed. Then, if we stir or shake it, the particles in a suspension seem to be evenly distributed throughout the mixture, but the particles still remain visible. After some time, some of the particles settle at the bottom of the container. The particles in a suspension are visible to the naked eye because their size are greater than 1000 nanometers. The substance can separate by filtration, and it also may scatter light. The last one is colloid. Colloids are the heterogeneous mixture like suspension, but appears somewhat like a true solution. An example of colloids is a milk. Milk contains butterfat globules in a liquid. If a drop of milk examined under the microscope, we can see small particles of fat floating in liquid. That's why milk is called as a colloidal solution. The size of colloid particles is between 1 up to 1000 nanometers. It cannot visible to the naked eye, but visible to the microscope. The particles cannot be filtered, unless the colloids may scatter the beam of light through it.